Hello, my very dear Gemini. So, what I started getting as I was working with you was I was getting Gemini, but I was getting it in the tune of Karma Chameleon. And so I think that there is an element of relationship issue going on in this. Karma Chameleon, Boy George, way back. And basically it's talking about his disappointment in a love relationship. So that's why I think there may be an element here, but I think there's also something else really important, because the chameleon part that comes in relation to relationship. So what I'm getting for you, my dears, is this. It's really important for you right now to remember that you have love. Whether or not it's from another person, doesn't matter at this point. What you're being reminded is you can feel love and experience a state of love every day in yourself. That it is part of you, that there is divine love. There is to say there is divine love, that just sounds like, yeah, so what? So how do I get it? Well, basically what you're being reminded of is the fact that love is the foundational energy that creates all of the universe, that holds us all together. It is the essential part of every single portion of our cell. It is the life force of everything, of you, the plants, the trees, the animals. And that by allowing yourself to really be in flow, whether it's by being in nature, whether it's by painting, whether it's by cooking for your friends or eating good food, or just being silent and still and appreciating the space around you and being grateful for where you are, either in your world or in yourself, that's a way of connecting with that love frequency. And the more you connect with that love frequency, the more solid and the more grounded you are, and the less insecure you are in relation to people around you. The less you need approval. And I mean, this is true of all of us, Gemini. The less approval you need from other people. Now, in regards to, and you're being asked to realize that this is important. This is really important for you to remember this, that you have access to this no matter where you are, no matter who you're with, no matter what anybody thinks of you, does, says, or doesn't do. And that you're being asked to consider discipline in that regard, that discipline is something that supports you in your well-being. So can you please, Gemini, make an agreement with yourself that you are going to tune into that love every day, every single day. And if you have the ability to work with an imagination that feels genuine, that creates genuine feeling in you, you can imagine God being head over heels in love with you, or any deity that you honor, that you respect, that is benevolent, loving you, a guardian angel, somebody alive or somebody who's passed over who loved you greatly. Set yourself a system. And it can be a system that is simple as, I will remember this every morning and every night. I will remember it every time I make a cup of tea. I think, one of the reasons that historically people were taught to say grace was because it was connecting with that over their food and the understanding of where that came from. And so points, what I will call anchor points in your day that work for you, that are not overwhelming to you, so that you will do that and you will remember that. The reason we want you to do that is because it's so very easy in situations where you're in relationship with someone to assume their behavior is not, how can I put this concisely? That sometimes we think our way of being respected, appreciated, loved, cared for, desired is not there because it's not what we're used to or not how we have framed it. in the past. And it's not necessarily true. Part of what you're learning to do, Gemini, is let people be who they are in such a way that you also get to be who you are, and their behavior is not an indicator of your value. And in that, you get to really let yourself be solid in letting them be who they are. And by letting them be who they are, what happens is you both get to really be able to assess just how you can fit together or not fit together, or the nature of how you fit together. Are you close friends? Are you intimate? Are you distant friends? Are you just acquaintances that appreciate each other once in a blue moon over a coffee? But you get to see really genuinely the other person's personality and way of being without that overlay of your insecurities telling you that they are this way because of that. Okay? And that's equally important for you, because what that does is it gets you to be your beautiful, vibrant, artistic self and just really relish your life and the delight that you can have in the many wonderful things around you. You're being asked also to experiment, and you get play with your intuition. You can't use your intuition when you're caught up on your insecurities, when you're caught up on assessing, well, somebody said this or didn't say that, and therefore that means that. Well, no, because that's your head, and your head is where your ego plays its nasty little tricks about your values and brings back off in the past. And so now what we want you to do is just experiment a little bit. Decide you're going to do this one differently, and remind yourself, let that be part of your discipline. Choose every day how you want to deal with this, how you want to be able to play with this, and let it be something that expands your sense of self and your sense of beauty. Now, with the intuition card, with the intuition, playing with your intuition card, what you can do is choose to go into that calm state, that grounded state, and then check in. Cat hair again. Check in with, and I think, okay, no, sorry, I just got it. Playing with your intuition is a really fun thing to do, and it actually can be one of the things that helps keep you in place, grounded, but not trying to be intuitive so much about what the other person is, because that's very often when, as I said, the insecurities, the ego will come in and do its number. It's very hard to be able to feel a gut when you're in a fear around what somebody means or doesn't mean. What you can do is start playing with your intuition around other things, because that opens up the higher energy, the higher frequency, and it also starts getting you more in connection with that other realm of energy. How can you play with your intuition? Typically when you're learning how to be more clear about what your intuition is, because you're already quite intuitive, but now once you can start really defining that and understanding it as an ability and something that you can really deliberately work with, then it, and therefore something you can trust more, you can have more confidence in, it's easier to apply it to those situations when your emotions are involved. The thing I think that's interesting about this, getting this card now, is that it's not really saying use it around these other situations. What it's saying is develop this as a part of your sense of connection to the bigger world, to the other dimensions. Let me go back to, typically when we're learning deliberately how to use our intuition, we talk about hits and misses. So you can set up small exercises around things that where there's no emotional charge. So you can think about it in terms of, okay, so I wonder who's going to be the first person to text me today. Well, if you know it's always the same person, then change it up. I wonder who's going to be the first person to email me today. I wonder how many emails I'm going to get by the time 9 o'clock a.m. rolls around. I wonder, and use the word I wonder because that's kind of like throwing a fishing rod out to catch an idea. And you just come up with it, get a feeling, get grounded. What is the feeling of that? Okay, I think, I guess, and then notice, does it come in an image? Does it come, and when you acknowledge that image, does it feel right? Does it line up inside? And just play with it. Because what that's doing now is it's giving you a focus about you and bigger, right? You in relation to something bigger, as opposed to just you in relation to the potential of this other situation. And we want you and bigger. You and bigger. You centered in you and connected to bigger. And that, I think, Gemini, is really powerful for you. My dears, I'm going to leave you with that and have fun with it. I think this is going to be an interesting kind of week. This is, well, I say week, but whenever this resonates, I'm putting it up for the week of May 26th. But of course, you might choose to do this at any point in time, and it might resonate differently for different people. Or not at all for any of you. I don't know. Take care.